Our boy Jay is a perfect student. He gets straight A's and is the student president. But after being coerced into joining the school's biking team, the Hummingbird crew, he discovers a whole new world outside of studying. What new adventures will he face outside the comfort of his textbooks? Let's find out. The scene opens with Jay telling his parents that he's going to the library. He wears his gloves and hops onto his cycle. After that, he cycles to the library. Some students gossip about going to the internet cafe, but the other boy refuses. They both get shocked as Jay passes by them at speed. They wondered what was that and if he was riding a bike. Jay, while cycling forward, sees construction work ahead. However, he jumps over the edge in style and continues on his journey. Some couples are having a good time while sitting on stairs, but Jay interrupts their moment by passing right beside them. He starts cycling with ease as he enjoys the wind and warm evening. The scene shifts to some kids talking about their new cycle. They wonder how a high schooler got a full carbon bike. On top of that, it looks heavy. The bike owner, TJ Kim, says they can't compare this beauty to anything else. His friends beg to let them ride once, but he tells them to just ride their own bikes. Another person, Minu, asks if he bought a bike when he already had one. TJ notices someone doing a downhill. The students gossip about that kid going crazy. He's coming downhill on that bike. Does he plan to get himself killed? Jay puts on his hoodie and looks down the hill. He then starts pedaling towards it. He remembers his parents saying that he's expected to get good grades and be competent. His parents asked why his grades were dropping. His classmates gossiped about studying being his only friend. Jay shatters all of those words by riding down the hill at full speed. He swiftly turns as he reaches the end of the hill. His tires sizzles, and he rests for a while. The students can't believe that he skidded down the hill without braking once. How could he pull something like that at that speed? TJ says that he's just showing off on that old hunk of junk. However, Minu commends him on his skidding skills. Minu's friend, June, says that he looks like their school president. Minu smirks and asks if he's in their school. He doesn't give a crap when it comes to school. He thinks he'll say hi if he meets him tomorrow. The scene shifts to the sunny high school that Jay is attending. The students talk about watching the series Breaking Bad yesterday on TV. However, our boy Jay studies diligently. Another girl sitting next to her stares at him. Yuna puts her arm around her and asks what she's thinking about. She inquires if she's studying for the exams that are coming soon. Mia replies that she's studying a bit here and there. Yuna tells her to be better prepared and asks if Jay treats her well. Mia replies that he does. However, Yuna says that it feels like he's harassing her. They wonder if he has any other hobby other than studying. He ignores anyone who talks to him. Mia says that Jay's not like that. He's not good at expressing himself, but he's a very sweet and responsible person. Suddenly, Minu shows up to the class. The girls greet him, asking if he's here to see them. Yuna wonders what that dork is doing here. He's getting them excited for no reason. Minu replies that he isn't here to see her, so she should better get lost. Minu teases her to not piss him off in the morning. Yuna gets angry, telling him to come here. Mia does her best to calm her down, suggesting she shouldn't fight her brother. Another teen named Dom is sitting behind her and thinks that Yuna looks cute even if she's mad. Minu thinks that he should just ignore her and do what he's here for. He heads to Jay's table and introduces himself. However, Jay doesn't give a damn about him and goes back to his studies. He tells him to go away as he's busy. However, Minu slams his desk and asks if he likes bike riding. If he's interested, then would he like to join their crew? Minu reminds him of the downhill he did yesterday. He remarks it was awesome. Their whole crew was blown away when they saw him skid down that hill. They didn't know that such a talented person was in their school. On top of that, the person turned out to be their class president. He welcomes Jay with open arms to join their crew. However, Jay ignores him and goes back to studying. Minu asks if he can't even pretend to listen to him. Minu's sister, Yuna, sees them chatting and wonders when they got close. Mia also thinks the same about it. Jay tells Minu to stop interrupting his studies. If he's done talking, then he can get out of his face. Minu turns away and apologizes for interrupting his damn studies. Minu leaves thinking that he gets under his skin. Jay, while studying, thinks about what Minu just said. He remembers his uncle gifting him a bike on his 13th birthday. He told him that studying was important, but he should also enjoy life a little. If he gets good enough, then they would even go on a biking trip. Soon the classes get over and students head home. Yuna stretches after the exhausting day and talks about wasting youth in the school. However, Mia encourages her to do these exams once. She thought that the days of a teen would be romantic, but it's just the same boring thing every day. Mia tries to calm Yuna down as she goes through a breakdown. She finally heeds into Mia's words and thinks that reality is depressing. Suddenly, Dom surprises them from behind and says they should watch this zombie movie together. However, Yuna punches him back and says he almost scared them. While Dom pukes out, Yuna tells him to quit stalking her. Dom, after getting hit, thinks that she's the girl for him. He chases them again, insisting that they watch it at his home on a TV. However, Yuna tells him to get lost. Jay also packs his bag and gets ready to leave. However, Minu enters the room and says he wants to talk about something. He tells Jay to give cycling a chance by joining their crew. There's a guy who wants to face him tonight. So, he's inviting him to join their biking match tonight. However, Jay gives him a straight no. He tells Minu to quit bothering him and keep playing with his little friends. Minu says that a guy named TJ was trash-talking about his bike before. He was saying that his bike is an old piece of crap. It doesn't bother him if he doesn't show up, but he hates people who think that bike specs are all that matter. As far as he can tell, he has been riding that bike for a pretty long time. He would love to see TJ's face if he destroys him in a race. They will be meeting tonight at the Green Park. He can decide if he wants to come. Later that night in the Green Park, some kids are showing stunts on a cycle. Minu is sitting on a bench while listening to some music. Suddenly, a person places a chill Red Bull on his face, and Minu suddenly jumps up. June tells Minu to chill out and have a drink. June asks if he's sure that Jay will come today. It has been quite a while. Minu replies that they can't do much except wait. June says that he's right. They will do a practice run if he doesn't show up. June asks why he's suddenly obsessed with Jay. However, Minu tells him to keep it down. People will get the wrong idea if he hears him. June then asks the reason for inviting him. Minu says that it's simple. He's riding that bike for a long time. He thought if Jay rode with them, it would be more fun for him. Soon, TJ shows up with his bike and asks where that kid is. He's quite late. Minu tells him to wait a bit more. TJ asks if that dork chickened out of it. However, Minu tells him not to be so cocky. If he's so anxious, then should they do a warm-up round? TJ asks if he can ride with his injured leg. He always wanted to rematch him though. Soon, Jay enters the park with his cycle, and the folks wonder if he's the same kid from yesterday. Minu stands up and says he wishes to race him and his carbon bike, but they will do it next time. TJ extends his hands and talks about how he wasn't going to show up today. However, Jay ignores him and moves past him. This act greatly annoys TJ. Jay reaches Minu, and Minu replies that he's glad he came here. Jay tells him to get him straight into the race as he's busy. Minu agrees and says that June will explain the rules. June greets him as his senior from the same school. Jay, on knowing him as senior, bows in respect. This greatly shocks Minu as he's always being a jerk to him. June says that he'll explain to him the race for today. The race will be one-on-one and the person who makes it back first wins the race. The track is simple, and he should know it as he's familiar with this place. In any case, they have put guys at each corner for safety and to make sure they stay on the route. The guy he'll be racing would be that nasty-looking mofo over there. Jay tells him not to bother him after this race. Minu agrees to his condition, and Juness hands him a helmet. Minu notices that he's taken the brakes off the cycle to lighten it. He believes that every little second matters in the race after all. Both Jay and TJ get on their cycle to race, and TJ mocks him to keep up with his carbon bike. Minu tells TJ to quit bragging and focus on the race. However, TJ tells him to shut up. He knows what he's doing. June puts on a camera on his head and says he would film them from behind. A member says that they will start racing as soon as this cog hits the ground. He extends his hand and tells them to get ready. As the cog clangs on the ground, both the racers begin racing. June, while following from behind, thinks that TJ has an advantage at the start as his bike is lighter. However, the real race will begin when they start pedaling and accelerating. It's not necessary that TJ will win because he has a good start. June steps up on the pedal so that he doesn't lag behind. TJ, while riding forward, mocks Jay's bike. He tells him to stare at his butts this whole race. Jay soon starts pedaling and begins gaining on TJ. TJ notices that he's catching up fast and plans to speed up more. He spots a traffic cone in front and thinks about a malicious plan. He swerves his cycle and knocks the cone out. The cone falls in front of Jay's cycle, and he quickly notices it. June wonders what that damn TJ is doing. Jay swiftly turns his cycle and avoids the cone. He quickly takes back control of the cycle's momentum, and June tells him to look ahead. Jay sees that he's about to ram into the car parked at the corner. However, Jay jumps onto the vehicle, rides over the top of it, and breaks out. This maneuver greatly surprises June and TJ. Soon enough, Jay starts his hunt again. June breathes a sigh of relief as Jay avoided a possible accident. He tells TJ to quit messing around. TJ apologizes and says that his foot slipped. He thinks that this punk is crazier than he thought. June thinks that TJ might get someone killed with his cheap tricks. He also thinks that Jay's tricks are insane. He can't believe he pulled a 360 flip in such a short time. He wished that the other guys could have seen that live. Jay starts pedaling faster and catches up to TJ again. He tells him to get over this stupid race quickly. After that, Jay starts going faster. TJ wonders if he's trying to psych him out. He suddenly notices a sharp turn ahead and sees Jay rushing forward. He calls him an idiot for accelerating on a sharp turn. He must have a death wish today. Jay accelerates more and starts drifting around the corner. Jay passes from the corner quickly while TJ lags behind him. TJ remains astonished at his skill. Even June is surprised to see Jay pull a drift around that corner. He has no idea where he learned to ride like that. He rides that bike as if it's an extension of his body part. As for TJ, he's struggling to catch up to Jay. He can't believe that he's lagging behind despite having a full carbon bike. Jay, while riding forward, points at his butt. He tells TJ to keep staring at his butts for the rest of the race. This greatly annoys TJ, and he steps up his pedaling. Jay waves at him and says that they will finish this in 4 minutes as he has to study. TJ tells him to not get cocky just because he's ahead. He hates these freaking sunny high pricks. TJ steps up his pedaling to chase after Jay. June hopes that everything is okay. Someone might get hurt if they keep at it. TJ tries to get past Jay, but Jay blocks him skillfully. TJ gets frustrated and says he'll take him at the downhill. As the downhill comes, both start speeding up. June asks if they have gone nuts and advises them to slow down. Can't they see the fence right at the bottom? They should slow down unless they want to get themselves killed. TJ gets obsessed with beating Jay and keeps accelerating. Jay at the very end of the hill skids his cycle skillfully. He kicks against the fence and bounces his leg off to change the direction. As for TJ, he thinks that he's getting out of control and is about to fall into the fence. He tries to apply brake, but he slams himself into the fence. June follows up from behind, asking if he's all right. Jay notices that TJ slammed into the fence and calls him a loser. Blood starts dripping from TJ's face after the incident. June worriedly asks if he's all right. However, TJ feels more annoyed than being injured. At the park, Minu is playing video games until they finish the race. A person notifies him that he sees someone coming. They see Jay coming first and wonder if TJ has lost. They can't believe that he lost to the new guy. Minu says that TJ was just big talk after all. He's happy he got his ass handed in. He always told him that the rider matters more than the bike. Jay stops in front of TJ, and people grow eager to check the video that June recorded. Jay takes off his helmet and reminds him about what he said before the race. He tosses him the helmet and pulls on his hoodie. He tells him not to bother him with this crap anymore in the school. After that, Jay starts riding back home. The teens think that he looked so badass right now. June and TJ soon show up, and June calls out to Minu. Minu asks what happened to TJ, and June urges them to bring in the first aid kit. The members wonder what happened to him, and if they should take him to the hospital. TJ's anger grows more, and talks about bringing Jay to him now. Jay soon reaches his home with his bike on his shoulder. Jay's brother, Kay, says that Mom is on a night shift and asks where he has been. He tells him to stop messing around, otherwise he won't be able to get into a good university. He advises him to grow up. He isn't a kid anymore. Suddenly, the TV says that the next episode will be Kitty Time, and Jay's brother rushes to watch it. He trips on the edge of the door and rolls on the ground in pain. He sees that the Kitty Time is on, and gets happy on seeing it. Jay leaves his brother and lets him watch the TV. He steps inside the bathroom and takes a shower. He goes through the memory of what happened in today's match. He senses a bit of strange feeling running in his veins that he never felt before. The next day, Jay gets ready for school and takes out his bike. He checks the tire and thinks that it got ruined from yesterday's race. Jay's brother comes out and asks if he'll ride that bike to the school. Jay agrees and hops on his cycle. Kay says that he's quite a bike freak. Jay stretches out while Kay says that he's wasting energy in the morning. He should put that energy into studying instead. Jay rides his cycle and says that he'll see him later. Kay adjusts his glasses and wonders when he'll grow up. He spots a kitten carrying food and gets excited. He starts chasing after the kitty, telling her to come back. Some people board the bus from the bus stop. Mia thinks that she almost missed the bus to school. The bus soon comes to a halt as the traffic piles up. At the same time, Jay is riding his bicycle. A man on the bus complains about the traffic and wishes that he could get a scooter or something. Mia wonders what those people are gossiping about. She doesn't understand them. Jay crosses the bus that Mia is traveling in, and she notices Jay cycling. Some people on the bus wonder how that kid is faster on the bike. The other says that he'll also come on a bike from tomorrow. Dom is also on his way to the school and complains about the traffic. His dad asks if he would like him to ram the cars ahead so they can move. Dom tells him not to do that and simply follow the rules. When he looks outside, he sees a student riding on a bike. He gets excited and says he wants it too. Alongside Jay, another person joins him on the cycle. The person is Jay's principal, and he asks how he has been. Jay greets him and the principal says that he's glad to see him in full energy in the morning. Jay asks if he often rides his bike to school. The principal agrees, saying that a man should always ride his bike to work. He also advises Jay to be cautious and safe rather than riding fast. Since bike riders like them aren't welcome on sidewalks or roads, so they have to be more careful. He says that people these days don't even leave the biking path free for them. He says that's enough talk and they should step it up a notch. After all, the principal and student president can't be late. At the school, some students are being punished by the security guard, while some greet him. A student named Lee rides his skateboard in style. He brushes past the security guard and says peace. The security guards pick him up and tell him not to peace him. He asks what's wrong with his hair. Did someone accidentally spill orange juice or something on it? Also, where is his school bag? Lee replies that he left them at school since he doesn't want to study. The guard gets annoyed with him when suddenly someone asks what's going here. The principal asks why this noise is coming in the morning. The security guard cheers up and says that he was reinforcing the school dress code. The principal says that this isn't a good way to start the day. He tells them to get to their class and stop ruining the school's image. The students reply that they will do their best and make the school look as cool as possible. They run off, saying they are finally free. Lee notices some girls walking around and wonders when they have girls like them here. He greets them as ladies and requests to have lunch with them as he's alone. The girl calls him adorable and tells him to come to the cafeteria. The guard says that he's causing trouble once again, and the principal says that he's just enjoying his youth. The guard says that they have a morning assembly today, and the principal says that he'll just text everyone instead. This greatly surprises the guard. In the classroom, some students are having fun, while some feel bored with the same crap each day. The principal sends a message, greeting the students for today's assembly. Yuna says that the principal has quite a style for this. She asks Mia what she's doing. As for Mia, she's daydreaming about being close to Jay. Yuna asks if she's in love with Jay. Suddenly Dom shows up and greets Yuna. However, Yuna throws a book at him, calling him a band-aid loser. Dom thinks that this must be her way of showing how much she likes him. Jay walks down the hallway while reading a book. He brushes past Minu, who's surrounded by girls. Minu calls him out and congratulates him on a good job yesterday. He kicked TJ's ass pretty nicely. The girl asks Minu how he knows the student president, and he replies he just happens to know him. In the classroom, half of the students are sleeping during the lecture. Dom is also among them, with his drool all over the notebook. As soon as the clock hits 12:30 p.m., the students go for lunch break. Dom sits next to Yuna for lunch, but she punches him instead. The classes resume, and Dom is once again sleeping. Mia looks at her crush Jay, and quickly turns back in embarrassment when he notices her. The school gets over and some students talk about watching Breaking Bad series today. Dom is walking back home and wonders what was taught in the school today. He notices that Jay has a cycle, and asks if he could try it for a second. However, Jay ignores him and cycles away. Dom shows him the middle finger and tells him to keep that arrogant attitude. His ears buzz up as soon as he hears Yuna's voice. Dom walks beside them and says that she'll forever be the Wi-Fi network of his life. Yuna curses in anger, wondering what sins she has committed to deserve this. Dom asks if he looks smooth and shiny today. Yuna says that his face isn't shiny but has drool all over it. Dom tells her to quit pretending she doesn't like him. He says, this is his secret to look good. Yuna kicks him in the leg and tells him to shut up. Jay is riding back home when he notices that he has a flat tire. He thinks that this happened because of racing hard yesterday. TJ comes in and asks if he wants him to fix that piece of crap for him. After school, Dom is walking back home and thinks that Yuna gave her lots of love today. He wonders if relationships are always so hard on the mind and body. Anyway, he slept too much today, and now he should head back to his job. He notices that some goons are ganging up on Jay, and he gets serious. TJ asks if he had a nice sleep yesterday. He was pissed that he lost the race and couldn't sleep because of his forehead. However, Jay asks who they are even. This annoys TJ and he asks if he thinks of himself as a hotshot. He kicks Jay's cycle and it falls on the ground. TJ says that he humiliated him in front of his crew with that shit and now he's ignoring him. Jay lands a punch at him in anger. However, Jay's punch is weak and it only scratches TJ. TJ gets angry and asks how he dared to punch him. His friends say that the student president must have gone nuts. They start beating Jay, asking if this feels good now. They crush his glasses and beat Jay very badly. TJ asks how he'll go to school tomorrow now as his face is messed up. He should remember his face now. Jay replies that he doesn't know who he is and what he wants. So, he should just screw off from here. TJ asks if that's the case, then he'll have to beat him till his senses come back. He grabs his shirt and says he'll start with his filthy mouth. Dom steps up and tells them to cut it out. TJ gets up and asks who this dork is. Dom asks if they think they are tough when taking someone 3-1. He was starting to get bored and asks if he could join as well. TJ says that he's inviting him to get beaten and shouldn't blame him later. TJ's friend tells him to stop. They suggest they let this go. His other friend whispers that this guy is dangerous. TJ gets freaked out after hearing about his sins. TJ leaves the place and says he can't stand these losers. He should thank his friend for saving his ass today. He tells his boys to leave while Dom asks where they are going. Dom thinks that those idiots must have sensed the power he holds and ran off. He extends his hand to Jay and asks if he's okay. However, Jay says that he's fine, and he should just forget about him. Dom gets annoyed and wonders why everyone is acting like that in front of him. At the same time, Minu is walking back home with some girls. TJ walks past him and makes fun of him for being a spoiled son. He calls them as sunny high losers, and the girl wonders what their problem is. Minu notices Jay in front and tells the girl to head without him. He just remembered something important, so he has to go. The girl becomes slightly annoyed and asks what came all of a sudden. Dom says that his bike is trashed and he's a mess. Is he sure that he can walk back home? Minu shows up and asks Jay what happened to his face. Did he get into a fight? Dom says that those mountain-high kids were beating him up, so he came and stopped them. Minu wonders if it was the guy TJ. He believes he must be after revenge for losing the race yesterday. Jay asks if he enjoyed the show. Now they should get going and leave him alone. Minu apologizes and says that he didn't mean to get involved in this. Jay tells him to forget it. He should never mention his crew again to him. Minu suggests that they at least get him to a pharmacy and treat his cuts. However, Jay tells them to get lost. Minu asks what's wrong with him. He could at least walk him home. Once again, Jay tells them to stay out of his life. Dom thinks that he's being too stubborn here. He steps up and smacks Jay on the back. Dom says that he didn't hit him that hard, and Minu asks if he has gone crazy. Who the hell hits a guy who has already been hurt? He thought they were blabbering a lot, so he just shut their mouth. He picks up Jay and says he'll walk him home. He tells Minu to carry his bike. Minu asks where they are heading then, and Dom replies that he doesn't know. Minu asks if he knows where Jay lives, but he doesn't know that. Minu asks if he was out of his damn mind back then. Why did he knock out Jay then? Both Minu and Dom take him to the pharmacy first. Minu purchases the medicine and wonders what they should do with Jay next. On the other hand, Jay's brother is walking back home. He thinks about heading home and then going for a tutoring lesson. He notices a person collapsed on the ground and wonders if they are bullies from the Sunny High. He notices the victim and thinks that his face looks familiar. He soon realizes that it's his brother, and he shouts out his name. Dom and Minu notice someone calling Jay's name. Dom asks if he is talking about this knocked-out boy, and Minu believes it as well. Kay wonders what he should do now. Those punks are staring at him. He believes he would be screwed if they catch him as well. He doesn't want to get his ass kicked like that. Dom calls out to him and asks if they are related to each other. Kay starts walking and says that he doesn't have any idea. Dom wonders if he was calling someone else. Minu asks if doesn't he remind them of someone. He has the same annoying look and way of talking. They find his face similar to Jay's and wonder if he's his brother. Kay, while whistling, starts speeding up. They both get annoyed and ask why he's trying to act calm while running like that. They start chasing him, telling him to stop. They finally catch up to Kay and ask why he was ditching his brother. Kay replies that he needs to look out for himself. Dom thinks that he's selfish like his big bro, and Minu wonders if this thing runs in their family. Kay says that Jay is now picking up fights and making a couple of loser friends. How pathetic. Soon enough, they reach the home. Dom applies bandages and antiseptic on Jay's face. He says that he has done everything, and the rest depends on the patient. Minu pats him on doing a great job, and Kay wonders who these idiots are. Minu asks why he's wearing a band-aid under his nose. Is he trying to act cool? Dom replies that it's his little secret. Minu rips off the band-aid and says that the secret can go to hell. Minu remains shocked after seeing it, and says that the principal will scold him a lot if he finds it out. Minu asks if there's anybody else at home. Kay replies that his parents aren't at home very often, and Minu thinks that this place is similar to his. He sees that Jay's room has books everywhere, and thinks that he has such a boring life. Minu asks why he's still glaring at them. Kay says that he wants to see if they lied about being his brother's friend and plan to steal something. He can't believe that Jay has friends. Minu thinks that Jay's brother is just like him. It makes him want to punch him in the face. Dom looks at a photo frame and wonders if this is Jay's bike in this. Minu peeks in and asks, whose photo is this? They see the picture and wonder if this is Jay's brother in the photo. However, Kay corrects them and says it's Jay in the picture. Minu now has more questions about Jay, since when he was riding and why he showed up yesterday. Dom asks what he's mumbling about. He notices Minu carefully and starts seeing Yuna in him. He wonders if he's tripping or something. He believes he must have been lonely lately. Yuna and Minu are siblings, but Dom doesn't know about it. Minu looks at the man in the photo and thinks that he looks similar. Jay gets up and asks what they are doing in his house. Minu asks if he's finally awake, Mr. President. Jay gets up and quickly snatches away the photo frame from them. He tells them to keep their grubby hands away from his stuff and get out of his house. Minu shows him his face and says they brought him here and took care of him. Dom says that he doesn't need to thank them. This much is nothing for a classmate. Jay gets annoyed and rips off the bandages. Dom cries over his hard work and Jay tells them to leave. He isn't in the mood to argue. Dom pats his shoulder and asks if he's going to send them just like this. They came all the way here while carrying him, and Jay replies they are not friends. They get excited about checking his computer. They want to see what kind of nude pics he has on his desktop and what type of girls their student president likes. Jay tells them not to touch his computer, and they say he must be hiding something. They open the computer and see videos of study lectures. Dom gets grossed by it. He can't believe how he's still alive. Minu agrees, saying that he's a computer nerd as well. Dom says that he'll show them a dark path to a whole new world. They should be happy that they met him. Minu calls him a master and requests him to show them some good stuff. However, Jay tells them to get off the computer. Kay thinks that he already wasted a lot of time because of those idiots, and now he's a bit late. Dom finally downloads a video named Blue Sky. He tells them to get ready to see the good stuff. Kay grabs the knob and wonders why they all went so quiet. All three of them watch a sexy video and get turned on. Kay's nose bleeds as he tastes a new world of sweet pleasure. Thus, in the silence of Jay's room, they all became adults. They get excited after watching the video. Dom says that he should get back to work, and Kay says he should go to classes. Jay sits in front of his computer and thinks that those idiots downloaded crap on his computer. He proceeds to delete the video but hesitates a bit. He looks around and opens the video for the final time. His brother comes in to say something, but hears some sexy sounds from the video. Later, Dom and Minu are walking back. Minu says that the video was sweet, and Dom asks if he would like to see the site. They clap hands for their shared bromance and say that they should hang out more often. Dom says that he's heading to work, and they will see him at the school. They part ways, and Minu wonders if he works part-time after school. Minu takes out his phone and thinks he should end things properly today. He tells his boys to gather at the park. They will be having an emergency meeting tonight. They should make sure that TJ and Mountain High come especially. The people soon gather at the designated spot and wonder what came up so urgent. TJ comes in and tells the losers to complain in front of Minu instead of whining here. They ask TJ if something happened between them, and he replies he doesn't know. June says that there must be a reason as to why he called an emergency meeting. TJ mocks him, telling him to suck up to his little Sunny High pal. Soon enough, Minu arrives at the park, and the people notice that he's pissed off. TJ calls him a rich little prince for coming late. Minu takes off the ring he's wearing and the people wonder what he's trying to do. Minu goes straight for a punch on TJ's face. TJ, after being punched, gets up and spits out blood. His friends help him up, and they ask if he has gone nuts. June also asks the reason for his action. He needs to explain what happened. Minu tells him to stop giving their crew a bad name. Also, it would be better if he left this crew. The people wonder what he's talking about. Is he making TJ and the Mountain High guys quit? TJ asks what he's talking about. Minu tells him not to play dumb. He beat up the guy whom he raced yesterday and lost. TJ asks if he's referring to that student president. He says that he was the one who hit him first, just like he did now. Also, instead of him, he should be leaving this crew. June sighs and thinks that this is messed up. TJ says that the guys in the crew seem to be more unhappy with him. He tells them not to just stand idle and complain in front. A person steps up and nervously says that he didn't like he called them without any notice. Another person says that the school president isn't a crew member, so maybe he started the fight. They can't force some guys to leave without asking others first. They question if Minu assembled them here just to kick TJ out officially. TJ says that the tides are in his favor. What will he do now? He hasn't been riding lately because of his busted leg. Another person says that he flirts with chicks all day, and that he should start a little club at school. With all the money he has got, he won't have trouble to start another group. June steps up and tells them to stop. They should think before speaking crap. Minu says that they will have a race then. Whoever wins will stay and the loser will have to leave. TJ says that he's fine with that condition, but can he pedal with that leg? Minu replies that he can beat him with one leg with no sweat. TJ says that they'll do a 3 versus 3 in that case. Whoever loses will have to leave the crew fair and square. Minu says that he'll happily take all 3 of them. June says that he'll join in too. Minu asks what he's doing, but June says that he can't handle them alone with his bad leg. TJ says that it will be a race against Sunny High and Mountain High then. He asks if anyone would like to volunteer for the Sunny High team, as they are missing one person. The people gossip that it's better to sit out on this one, rather than risk leaving the crew. June says that they don't need another member. They'll do it just like this. TJ agrees to the condition, and says they will do a 2 versus 3 then. The scene shifts to a dragon asking about their wish. The boy replies that he wants a perfect physique like Chris Hemsworth. The dragon gives him a mushroom. If he eats it, then his dream will come true. The boy eats the mushroom, and his body starts transforming. After the transformation, the girls look at him in admiration. They think he's tall, has a balanced figure, and a confident strut. They want to own that guy. The girls huddle him, asking if he has a girlfriend, or if they can have his number. The boy tells a girl that it will cost her a heartbeat per digit. She pulls him in the chest and tells him to hear her heartbeat as long as he likes. Other girls also line up for their number. The boy soon wakes up from his dream when someone places a milk packet on his desk. The girl asks what he was dreaming about. He looked pretty happy. The boy replies that he had many girls pressing his head against their chest in the dream. He thanks her for the milk nonetheless. After gulping down the milk, he feels elated and growing. His friend puts his arm around him and tells him to have lunch at the cafeteria together. The boy curses him for making him spill all the tasty milk. His friend starts kissing him, and the girl thinks they are having some serious bromance. Behind them, June asks what they will do now. Minu says that it's obvious. They will win and kick them all out. June asks how they will win with his bad leg. Minu tells him not to worry as the doctor said that a bit of biking would speed up recovery. June replies that it will take more than a bit of biking to win. On top of that, doing a 2 versus 3 puts them at a disadvantage. He tells Minu to invite Jay to help them out. He's the one responsible for this, so he should at least help them out. However, Minu replies that they don't need his help. He doesn't want to get him involved in their crew business anymore. He tells June to take it easy. They will surely win this race. On the other hand, Jay is focusing on his studies. Mia comes in and places a Band-Aid kit on his desk. She blushingly says that this is for his cut. However, Jay replies that he didn't ask her to get him anything. Yuna slams the table and asks what's the meaning of this. Can't he say things politely when a girl is showing interest in him? She was worried, as she saw a cut on his face this morning. She even ran to the pharmacy. Mia shuts Yuna's mouth from embarrassing her further. Dom pats Jay on the back and asks if he slept well last night. He hopes he didn't stay up late. Yuna asks how they know each other. Dom says that they bonded over a computer screen yesterday. Yuna wonders what he's talking about, and Mia guesses they did something with the computer screen. A student calls out to Jay and says that a third year is calling him. Jay gets up and Dom says that he's getting popular. Dom approaches Yuna and asks if they should bond together. However, Yuna picks him up and slams him into the ground. The third-year student, June, is standing outside, waiting for Jay. Some girls get impressed after seeing a handsome boy, and June says hello to them. They go past him, whispering that he's not into girls. June becomes sad and thinks it's not like that. Jay soon comes out, and June looks at his bruised face. He thinks that this was why Minu hit TJ yesterday. They both stare at each other, and June wonders if he doesn't remember him. He wonders if he has some face recognition disability. June gives him a detailed explanation, and he remembers he's the guy from before. June says that he has a favor to ask. He says that Minu stirred up a mess after his face got bruised by TJ. He said he didn't want to get him involved in this stuff anymore. June asks if he could help them tonight in a race against Mountain Highs. However, Jay says that he doesn't have anything to do with his crew. June says that he knows he's a bit selfish, but if they lose today, then Minu will get kicked out of his crew. Jay asks why he should be concerned about what happens to him. He has heard enough. Before Jay leaves, June says that they will meet in the same park at 8 tonight. If he changes his mind, then he can come there. He apologizes for taking up his break time. The people soon gather for the race in the evening. They wonder who will win today. Minu gets ready and says it's almost time. June checks his watch and sees that it's already past 8. He wonders if Jay won't come today. He puts on his helmet and thinks they must do it without him. Both teams get ready, and the audience believes that it will be intense. June inspects TJ's bike and feels that he now has brakes and changed the front wheel as well. TJ, being cocky, mocks Minu. He tells him not to overdo it unless he wants to get his both legs messed up. Minu tells him to shut up and just focus on the race. A boy says that they will start now. Before he starts, he'll go over the rules. Suddenly, a girl comes on her bike and tells them to wait. She takes off her helmet and thinks that she made it in time. She introduces herself as Harry. She's a biking show commentator on a YouTube channel. She heard they were racing tonight, so she rushed here. The guys get blushed after seeing a girl interested in biking. She asks if it would be okay to broadcast the race today. Minu gives her a thumbs up and says that it will be an honor. TJ smirks and thinks that he will now humiliate Minu online as well. She puts on her earphones and sees that everything is working perfectly. She starts the stream and asks the viewers if they can hear her well. The boy clears his throat and says that he'll explain the rules. Today they will be having a relay race. It's like a normal relay where they hand the baton off to a runner and run around the track. Instead of batons, they will be using LED armbands. If they apply force, it will wrap around their arm. The runners will be standing at the designated spots. The first team to hand off the armband and make it back will be the winner. As they decided before, the losing team will be kicked out of the crew. He asks Minu again if he still wishes to compete. He says that they are at a disadvantage because they are one member short. Minu tells him to quit worrying about it. It doesn't matter to him whether it's 3-on-2 or 4-on-2, they will win this. The boy says that everything is now settled. Until the race is over, no one can complain that it's unfair. He tells the respective team to put on an armband. Minu tells him not to bust his head open this time, and TJ wishes him luck to ride with one leg. Harry says that she'll stream the race between the two teams. TJ puts on his helmet and thinks that he'll show them this time. The first runner is Hyung for the Mountain High. Minu tells June to handle him with his road bike. The first part of the course has a lot of curves, so he'll have an advantage over his fixed bike. June asks if he's sure that he can handle 2 racers with his one leg. Minu says that he'll beat TJ and Mountain High at all costs. June agrees with his strategy and says he'll handle Hyung. June suggests him not to force himself too much. The first runners soon reach the starting line. Harry gets ready with her streaming phone over her head. The boy says that the race will start when the cog hits the ground. Once the cog hits, they begin racing. The Mountain High team gets ahead first. Harry follows them from behind and says that they are going around 26 miles per hour. Currently, Mountain High is in the lead. The members watch the stream and think that Hyung is doing a good job. Hyung asks if that's all he got. June follows Hyung close by on every turn. Hyung wonders why he's right on his ass. He thinks about creating some distance between them. He starts pedaling faster and June starts falling behind. However, June does his best to keep up with him. Young wonders why he isn't backing off. He feels more pressure the faster he goes. He wonders if he's pulling a slipstream on him. Slipstream is a wind-breaking technique used to reduce air resistance. The person in the front blocks the wind resistance, making it easier for the person riding behind. Harry thinks that it's not bad for a high school race. The members have mixed feelings if Hyung will pull it off. Hyung thinks that he can't let June use him like this. If he makes it past the hill, then they'll win. June breaks forward and thanks him for the windbreak. June thinks that now all of this comes down to muscle power. June changes his gear and increases his speed. Harry says that the Sunny High with the red band has taken the lead. He overtook the Mountain High in the uphill course. The viewers say that June's strategy was awesome. Young wonders how he's going so fast on that uphill. The next bikers get ready for the race. Minu says that they are getting close, and now he'll show them all. Jiwon asks, how is he sure who will come first? Minu asks if he believes that Hyung will outrun June. Minu says that he has reached here. June pedals the uphill and gets happy after seeing Minu. He passes the armband on to Minu and wishes him luck. Then Minu takes off in speed. Harry says that Sunny High's second runner is racing ahead. A boy while watching the race thinks that he doesn't need to see it whole if Minu can keep this lead. Harry, while following Minu, says that the Sunny High racer is stepping up his pedaling. He'll soon enter the last third course of the race. The viewers think that Minu is pedaling faster, while some say that Mountain High guys are getting owned. June relaxes a bit with a drink after the race. He hopes Minu doesn't hurt himself while finishing the race. He remembers the previous incident which injured him badly. Minu thinks that he needs to go a little bit more. He can't lose to TJ and get kicked out. TJ waits annoyingly and wonders where his team member is. Some people tell TJ that he might lose this one. The Sunny High is currently in the lead. TJ tells them to piss off. Are they feeling happy after getting beat up? They see that Minu is here. Minu rides forward while TJ waits annoyingly. The folks from before think that Minu is a beast. TJ wonders where his loser team is and what's taking them so long. His team member soon shows up and says that he's coming as fast as he can. Minu, while racing forward, suddenly sees a cat in front. Minu presses on the brakes hard and feels that he messed up his leg again. He soon falls from his bike and hits the ground hard. Harry wonders if he just fell off. The viewers also wonder what happened to Minu. He was doing so well. June can't believe that he fell over. Minu lays on the ground injured and looks at his hand. Harry says that she'll cut the stream because of a sudden accident. The stream soon cuts, and the viewers think that this sucks. A boy wonders if this is how things will end for Sunny High. June straps his helmet back again and thinks that Minu shouldn't have raced with that leg. TJ, unaware of the situation, is pedaling fast. He soon sees that Minu has fallen from his bike and Harry has stopped by him. TJ laughs maniacally, calling him a limp ass. He knew this would have happened to him. He rides freely, feeling lucky as hell. Harry looms over Minu and asks if he's all right. Suddenly Jay shows up and asks what he's doing on the ground like a wuss. Minu tells him to quit staring at him like that and get lost. Jay takes the band from Minu and straps it onto his arm. At Jay's home, he left a note for his little bro to eat dinner without him. Kay wonders when his big bro will grow up. Jay says that he heard the course and race rules from June. He's only here to take revenge against those punks for what they did to him before. Minu gives him his helmet and Jay catches it. He tells Jay to give them hell. Jay asks if he has to put this on. It smells like his armpit. Minu says that it smells better, and he should stop being a jerk. Harry looks at Jay's bike and can't believe that he'll ride on it. As for TJ, he's enjoying while riding forward. He says that this will be the last time when Minu will act cocky again. He shouldn't have raced him with that limp leg. Minu, in his mind, wishes TJ his best as a monster is coming after him. When TJ looks back, he sees Jay cycling. He freaks out and wonders where he came from. He starts pedaling faster and thinks that those Sunny High morons didn't mention he would race. He feels that Jay is charging forward like a bull. He has come too far and can't lose here. He thinks that there's a downhill after this. He believes Jay won't be able to get through the last U-shaped curve without braking this time. All he needs to do is pass him in the downhill and he'll be victorious. TJ soon reaches the downhill section with Jay following close by. As he goes through it, the painful memory of hitting the fence comes to his mind. He applies his brake and Jay takes him over. TJ wonders if he has gone crazy. Jay uses the rock wall technique on the downhill, and TJ can't believe it. Rock wall is a trick that allows one to do a 180-degree turn with the front wheel as the axis. Jay reverses his bicycle, and TJ wonders if he has gone crazy. Who in the world would try such a risky move on the downhill? Jay suddenly comes to a stop and stands in TJ's way. TJ tells him to move his ass unless he wants to get both of them killed. However, Jay doesn't budge from his position, and TJ has to apply brakes. TJ manages to stop the bike narrowly, and his cycle hits Jay's front wheel. TJ asks if he has gone crazy. Jay replies that it's his fault that he kicked his bike before. TJ wonders what this mofo is yapping about. Jay says that they will settle the score here. They will see whose bike is faster, his carbon bike, or his metal scrap as he called it. TJ asks if he's giving him a challenge. If that's the case, then he'll accept it. Jay says that they'll have an all-out run on the straightaway. Whoever finishes first will be the real winner. He would like to see just how fast that expensive carbon bike can go. If his lightweight bike loses to his so-called hunk of junk, then he shouldn't blame the bike, but blame himself. TJ gets super angry and says, "Let's see who will lose then." They soon position themselves on the straight path for the race. They both start racing, and TJ gets the upper hand because of his lightweight bike. Jay bends below to reduce the air drag and starts pedaling faster. He takes over TJ once again, and TJ can't believe that he's losing to that jerk. Minu soon reaches back the park along with June. His team members wonder if he's all right. Minu apologizes for not giving his best and says his leg hasn't recovered fully from before. June sighs and says that he shouldn't have pushed himself too hard. Harry says that he's lucky he didn't get hurt after falling at such a high speed. The Mountain High says that they have beaten them. The other boy thanks Minu for delivering the win to them. They soon see someone coming from the Sunny High team with the red band, and wonder who that person is. Jay is cycling forward, and TJ feels annoyed to his very bones. He can't understand why his bike is losing to that crap. The people find that the person is Jay, the student president, and he won against TJ. The Mountain High folks complain that they cheated. They ask from where he came. Jay opens his jacket and lets off the steam. TJ curses him after losing. Jay says that he's the hunk of junk, not his bike. He should practice some basic pedaling before taking him on. TJ gets annoyed and asks what he's talking about. The referee blocks TJ from going any further. The people have more questions as this Jay guy isn't from their crew, and if this is Sunny High's win. The referee asks why was another team member added in between the race. Having someone who's not involved in their crew isn't fair. He asks Minu if that's what he said before the race. He said that it would be 3-on-2, and that the result would be final. The moment he fell from his bike, the race was over for Sunny High. Minu replies that he doesn't need to analyze those things for him. He grabs the badge and says he'll stop complicating things any further. He rips off the badge and says he'll leave the crew. Minu says that they shouldn't have any complaints now. Since he's leaving, they should take care of his crew. The Mountain High morons smirk on seeing him leave. June puts his arm around Minu and says that he did well. Minu apologizes that he too got kicked because of him. June says that it's okay. He joined the crew because of him. If he isn't in the crew, then what point does it make to be there? Jay calls out to Minu and tosses him his helmet. Minu thanks him for riding together today, and Jay silently puts on his hoodie. He starts leaving, and Minu thinks that he's still the same prick. June and Minu also leave the place. June asks if he's all right, and Minu replies that his leg hurts a lot. He teases June to prepare for his entrance exam now, and June gets annoyed. The Mountain High morons say that they should celebrate the victory with some burgers and drinks. They ask TJ if he's coming, but he doesn't respond. Deep down, TJ feels that he didn't win the race. Somebody calls out to TJ as Mamushi Boy. TJ asks who is stirring troubles now. However, he becomes like a scared cat when he sees Vinny. Vinny asks what will he do? Is he going to hit him? TJ nervously asks what he's doing here, and Vinny asks if there's something wrong with him being here. TJ says that wasn't what he meant. Vinny says that he saw the live broadcast and sees that Minu is riding once again. The boy replies that Minu is nothing now. They lost in the race today and got kicked out. Vinny asks if that cat is gone, so little mice like them have come out to play. However, the trio replies that's not the case. Vinny says that their crew is a piece of crap. Vinny leaves and thinks that Minu is still actively riding. He thinks about busting his other leg too for good. Vinny says that he's leaving the crew and they can play on their own. TJ wonders what kind of crap he's trying to stir up now. Minu soon reaches his luxurious home. He feels like Steve Jobs today after getting kicked out of his own crew. If it weren't for his damn leg, he would have won. Minu's parents also reach the home at the same time. Minu wishes his dad a good evening, and he asks what's wrong with his face. He was supposed to be studying. What is he doing that he keeps getting injured? Minu's stepmom tries to calm him down, saying that Minu is still in his teens. She gets worried and asks how he got that cut on his face. She approaches towards him and asks if he fell off his bike while riding. They need to treat it. However, Minu tells her to get her filthy hand away from him. Minu's father slaps him and asks if he has gone crazy. How could he talk to his mother like that? He's the oldest son and is supposed to set an example for his siblings. Minu says that all of that could go into crap. Does he think that this woman really likes him? She's just after the money because mom isn't here. The father gets annoyed and asks how he dared to say that. He's the one who uses his money and buys crap like stupid bikes. Isn't he the one who is using his father for money? He should better hand over his credit card and wallet. Minu drops the wallet and credit card as he said. He says that he doesn't need his money. He tells him to go and live a happy life with that gold digger. Minu's father curses him and the driver tries to calm him down. His father tells him not to think about entering his house. Yuna curls up in her bed and thinks that all of this is her fault. Later, Minu sits on a bench along with his bicycle parked near him. He checks his phone and thinks that he can't ask anyone for help. He doesn't have a penny to his name and got kicked out of his crew and house. He considers himself damn unlucky. He sees a family having a great time, and it reminds him of his childhood. Their family had a total of 5 members and he was the eldest son. They were so happy at that time. He cries a lot and wonders when all of this happened. Beside Minu, Jay appears and grabs a Red Bull from the vending machine. Minu looks shocked at finding him here. Jay asks if he's crying like a baby because he lost. Minu replies that he wasn't crying. Jay says whatever and continues slurping his drink while heading back home. Minu stops him and asks if he can stay with him tonight. However, Jay ignores him and walks away. Minu follows him along and tries to persuade him to stay at his home for one night. However, Jay ignores him and says that it's his problem. Minu says that he's being too cold-hearted. Can he help him out just one time? Jay says that he has to study, so he should ask another friend. Minu says that he would like to, but he doesn't have anyone else he can ask. Jay says that he isn't someone he can ask either. Jay closes the door, and Minu says that they were never close at school either. Soon enough, rain began pouring and Minu takes covers inside a shed. He remembers people trying to befriend him because his dad owned a big company. They asked him if he would like to hang out with them. All of them put on fake smiles and calculated kindness. So he, too, put on his own mask. His dad always told him that living among fakement is also part of life. So, he always hid his true self behind countless masks. Every time he took off the mask, he felt alone. When he was little, he managed to get a bike somehow. That was the only moment when he escaped his loneliness. He then created a cycling crew that simply loved biking, but now he lost that as well. Minu soon gets drenched in the rain. He also sees a little kitty trembling in the rain. He thinks that he has seen this cat before. He remembers that she's the same cat that got in his way on the racetrack. He thinks that if it weren't for this damned cat, he would have won. The cat limps forward, and he notices that its leg is hurt. He thinks that blaming her now won't change things. He pulls out a chocolate and asks if she wants to eat this. The cat eats the chocolate, and Minu thinks that it wasn't able to get out of the way because her leg was hurt. He lifts the cat and asks if she's also alone, and the cat replies yes, in her tone. Later, Jay's brother is walking back. He notices that someone is camping outside their house. He checks who the person is and recognizes him as one of the trio that came here earlier. He wonders why he's out in the rain by himself. Minu also notices him and asks if he's Kay. Kay notices that he's holding a kitty in his arms and ignores whatever Minu says. As for Jay, he's studying in his room but gets sidetracked a bit. He sighs and gets up from his seat. He takes an umbrella and thinks about taking Minu in. Kay soon comes inside the house and asks where he's going. Kay realizes he must be going for his friends. He says he was shivering in the rain, so he brought his friend in. He couldn't just walk by on someone like him. Minu starts liking the kid as he's showing some concern for him. Kay says that he was worried about the kitty. He only brought him here because he was with the cat. Minu gets annoyed with Kay and thinks it's his fault for expecting too much from him. Kay rushes to the bathroom with the kitty. He says that he'll clean her first, and then take care of her cut. Minu says that he'll leave as soon as the rain stops. Jay throws a towel at him, points towards the bathroom, and tells him to take a shower. He's only allowing him for today. Jay and his brother quarrel over why that sketchy dude will sleep in their house. Minu comes out of the shower and feels good. He looks at the fridge and thinks about eating something. He shouts that he's starving and he'll help himself with some food. He rummages through the fridge to find something. At the same time, Jay's mom arrives at the home. She asks what a bike is doing outside. However, she gets shocked when she sees a stranger in the house, and that too, taking things from their fridge. Soon, Jay's mom orders fried chicken for Minu. Minu eats the chicken happily, and says that this is his favorite. Jay's mom is happy to see Minu. She heard that he's the son of Tichong Group CEO. She asks Jay how he met such an amazing friend. However, Jay replies that he isn't his friend. Kay says that she said that making friends is useless. So why is she saying that now? She shoves a chicken in his mouth and tells him to finish it and go back to his studies. Also, he has an exam soon, so he should study instead of eating chicken. Suddenly, she hears the meowing of a cat and wonders where that cat came from. Kay points at Minu and says that he brought her in. Kay rushes to Kitty, calling her Jack. Jay and Minu think that that idiot already named the cat. Jay's mother says that it's all right. He can give the cat back to Minu once he leaves. She also asks what happened to their face. Are they getting into some sort of fight recently? Jay gulps down his drink nervously, and Minu replies that they had a little argument with some dudes from another school. She asks which school and who those damn kids are. Minu replies that he doesn't know as they were wearing normal clothes. She advises them to not take beating like an idiot. Those brats need to be dragged to the police station to scare some sense into them. Minu says that won't happen again. She doesn't have to worry. Jay leaves and thanks them for the dinner. His mother stops him and says that his grades have been slipping recently. If this keeps up, then he won't be able to see his bike again. Jay understands it and leaves soon after. After dinner, Minu peeks through Jay's room and asks if he's watching porn again. He sees that Jay's studying and enters inside. He slumps down on his bed and feels great. He tells Jay how much his life sucks. Being best at the school isn't everything. He still envies that he has a mom to nag him around like that. Jay nudges Minu to get out of his bed. Minu says that he can't sleep without a bed. He suggests sleeping together. However, Jay throws a pillow on his face. He then makes a bed for himself on the floor. Minu tells Jay that he started riding after seeing a kid having fun by himself on the bike. He suddenly remembers something and asks if they should make a new biking crew. He can join it too since he likes riding. However, Jay tells him to shut up and go to sleep. Minu says that he's always like that. He should try to be positive for at least once. He turns around and says that he'll stay here for a few more days. Jay suddenly jolts up with a shock and asks if he's serious. Minu replies that his mom said that he could stay a bit longer. Jay curses Minu, calling him a goddamn street bum. Minu checks his phone and sees that Yuna has messaged him. She asks where he's staying and he replies he's at Jay's house. He asks her if she could bring some clothes and uniform tomorrow, and she agrees. She asks for his address, and he sends it. In the morning, Minu wakes up after hearing some sounds of chopping board. He gets out of his room and smells something good. He sees Jay cooking some food. Jay says that his mom left early in the morning for work. Minu almost chokes on seeing him wearing a funny apron. He can't stop laughing and asks if he's doing a cosplay or something. Jay replies that the only thing funny is his hair right now. Minu pulls out his phone and clicks his photo. He says he'll post this on Facebook and Jay gets annoyed. He asks where his brother is and Jay replies that he's playing with Jack in the yard. Minu thinks that he's also an early bird like his brother. He sees that Jay's preparing an epic breakfast because he's a guest here. Minu, while licking the spoon, says that he didn't have to go through all that trouble. However, Jay goes past him, and Minu's dreams shatter. He asks if the food isn't for him, and Jay replies that it's for the cat. If he wants a breakfast, then he could make his own. Minu asks how could he treat a guest like that, but Jay says that he's just a forced invite. Outside, Kay wonders what those morons are taking so long for. The scene shifts to the school principal getting dressed up. His phone rings and he wonders who could it be early in the morning. A girl named Shelly, who's his granddaughter, says it's her. She says she wants to come to Korea. He becomes glad and tells her to hurry up. He can't wait to see his precious granddaughter. She says that she'll call him later when she reaches there. She wonders how many years it has been since she went to Korea. The scene shifts to Minu fixing his bike. He hears a car honking and goes outside. He sees Yuna, and she asks what he's doing here. Minu replies that he was just fixing his bike because it got rained on yesterday. Yuna sighs and gives him the bag. She has put in his clothes and other stuff. Now, he should better come back home as she'll handle Dad. She's also surprised how he stayed at Jay's house. Is he nice to him? Minu replies that things just worked out. He's kind of grumpy, but it's manageable. She asks if he would like to have a ride to school, but Minu replies that he would just ride his bike to school. She gets in the car and says she'll see him later. Kay comes from behind and asks if she's her girlfriend. However, Minu replies that he's her sister. How could someone think that he has such an ugly girlfriend? He suddenly realizes that he was talking to Kay and asks how long he was standing there. Kay says that he should have known that a bum sleeping at their place couldn't have a girlfriend. It was stupid to even ask it. Minu thinks that he would have beaten the shit out of him if he was his brother. Kay says that he's going to school and tells Jack to keep an eye on the house. Jay and Minu soon get prepared for the school. Minu asks if won't he ride his bike to school today. Jay replies that he isn't sure. But why is he asking? Minu says that he doesn't have any bus money, so he'll have to bike there. He asks if they should ride together. Minu, while riding on the bike path, wonders what's wrong with the road. He sees cracks, trees, and vehicles on the pathway. He says that they should take the path through the park. They ride through the park and feel more relaxed. He thinks that it's a perfect day to skip school and go on a biking trip. Minu asks where his helmet is, and Jay replies that he doesn't have one. Minu says that he has been good to him, so would he like to buy one for him? But then he remembers that he doesn't have any money. Jay tells him to quit his yapping and just leave. Minu asks if they should race to the school then. However, Jay says that he could race by himself. At the school, Yuna tells Mia about what happened at Jay's house yesterday. Mia asks if it's true. She didn't know that Jay and Minu were close enough to live together. Yuna says that they must have gotten to like each other at some point. Mia tells her not to say things like that, otherwise people might get the wrong idea. She asks Mia if they should have the student council meeting in a cafe this weekend. Mia says that she likes the idea, but would Jay allow it? Yuna says that if enough girls pressure him, then he'll have to agree. Mia blushes and says, "Okay, dokie." Yuna says that she's doing all of this for her. They'll leave at the right time, so the two of them can talk in private. Mia blushingly replies that they don't have to do this. Yuna pats her head and asks why she keeps holding back like that. Jay is a good guy, so things will work out well. Dom overhears their conversation and says that he would also like to come. He asks Yuna if he could join the meeting as well. Yuna asks why he wants to be there. He isn't even in the student council. Dom says that he could be her private assistant. Yuna tells him to stop being an idiot and have his afternoon nap. Dom suggests watching a zombie movie tomorrow, but she tells him to get lost. Mia from the window sees that Jay and Minu rode to the school together on their bike. Mia says that the weather is nice and asks if she should get a bike too. Yuna says that it's a good idea. She could buy a bike and ask Jay to teach her. Dom says that he'll also buy one soon, and Yuna replies that she doesn't care. Minu enters the hallway with his bike on his shoulders, and the girls greet him. Some boys in the class are looking at an adult magazine and having fun. A girl snatches the magazine away from them and asks what they are doing at school. The boy replies that the magazine holds the key to their love life, so she should return it. The girl replies that she's doing her job as class monitor. Do they have a problem with it? Well, nothing beats the losers in the face of class monitors. The boy notices that Minu has brought the bike into the classroom. He asks why he brought it here. Minu replies that it's expensive and he can't just leave it outside. The boy asks how much it is and gets shocked after hearing it. He asks if he's joking. Who in their right mind would pay so much for a bike? Minu says that it's all he has now. He may have to sell it to get at least some money. The boy asks if he could ride it once. However, his confidence falls down the cliff when he sees that the seat is taller than him. He runs away while crying. He goes to a girl and asks if she could bring her some milk. The girl pats her and says she'll bring it. Jay is walking to his classroom when Yuna greets him. She came here to ask him something about the next student meeting. She says that everyone wants to have this week's meeting in a coffee shop. What does he think about it? Jay asks if she's serious. However, Yuna cuts him in the mid-sentence and says that it's decided then. She'll text him the address later. Later, Mia shows by Yuna's side and says that the plan worked. Jay will come, so she should get dressed up. On the day of the meeting, Mia is looking through which clothes she should wear. Yuna calls her and asks if she's ready. Mia hurriedly replies that she'll get ready in a few minutes. On the other hand, Minu is chilling in Jay's room. He wonders what he's doing lying around here on a weekend with no money and no fun. He looks at the couple walking down below and feels jealous. He sees Kay chasing after Jack and thinks that his date is also going well. Suddenly, he sees Jay getting ready and asks where he's going. Jay replies that he's heading to the student meeting. Minu says that he's bored and asks if he could tag along. However, Jay says that he'll go by himself. Jay puts on his hoodie and takes out his cycle. Minu says that he'll take care of the house, so can he bring him something good like ice cream in return? Jay sighs at his increasing request and leaves. At the coffee bar, a loser tries his luck with a girl. His charming lines work on the girl, but others feel grossed by it. Dom is also sitting along with them and thinks that the food here is good. Yuna deep down wonders why this dork followed her. Mia shows up without her glasses and greets them. She says that they are here earlier than expected. Dom asks who is she, and do they know her. Mia smiles and asks how could they react like that. Dom's food falls off as he can't believe it's her. Yuna says that she looks different without her glasses. She also dressed up prettily today. Mia asks if she looks that good. She decided to wear contact lenses today. The fatty tries to charm her through his cheesy lines, but he gets kicked by his girl. She asks what he's staring at. Some students from another high school think that those kids are being too noisy. Vinny says that this is lame. He asks if there isn't anything fun around here. The boy tells Vinny to pay attention to those morons staring at him. Vinny notices them, and they stop looking at him. They talk about how his one eye is red. They say that it's a colored contact lens. The other boy says that he must be doing a costume play. Suddenly, Vinny shows up at their table and drinks from the boy's cup. He says that it tastes bitter. He then asks if they think that his eye color looks weird to them. How about they rip his eye out and see it for themselves? The boy asks what his problem is. Vinny flips the table in anger. Dom's group wonders what's going on there. Are they fighting? Vinny steps on the boy and asks if he looks funny. He can't stand people like him who talk behind people's backs. He pours his coffee on him and tells him to finish his drink. The boy defends himself with his arm from the sizzling coffee. His friends ask if he has gone crazy, and how could he do something like that? Suddenly, someone grabs Vinny's hand. Dom steps up and says that it's enough. Vinny lets go of the cup, and it falls on the ground. The people behind them shout to call the cops before they start fighting. Vinny flicks Dom's hat away and asks what his problem is. Yuna suddenly shouts and tells Dom to keep his fists to himself this time. Dom sighs and proceeds to leave. The people wonder what they are doing in a cafe. Vinny's friend also advises him to bounce off from here before things go out of hand. Vinny taunts him with his tongue and leaves. He says that they will continue this somewhere quieter. Dom picks up his hat and puts it back on. He tells Yuna that he didn't cause any trouble this time. Yuna replies that he did a good job. The scene shifts to Shelly, coming to Korea. The people look at a beauty passing by. A guy also takes a sneak while he is walking with his girlfriend. She grabs his head and scolds him for cheating on her like that. A person says that there's a chick at 2 o'clock. They wonder if she's a model or something. The other person thinks about getting her number, and his friend replies that he should keep dreaming about it. He says that he can get a foreign girl's number easily by this face. His friend says that he'll pay for today's meal if he can get her number. He thinks he always acts cocky and needs to be turned down once. Shelly wonders why all these creeps are staring at her. This is why she can't stand man. The man greets her in French while riding his bicycle. However, Shelly tells him to just speak English. She wonders where this weirdo came from. He says that he was drinking coffee when he saw an angel walk by, so he followed her. He asks if he could get her phone number if she doesn't mind. At the same time, a person wearing an Iron Man helmet is riding a scooter. The man behind him says that they have spotted the target. The target is the blonde chick over there. They believe she must have some serious cash. They lock her as the target and rush towards her. Shelly feeds her number and asks if they are done here. She throws his phone back to him and proceeds to leave. The man thanks her for the number and says he'll message her when he gets the chance. He thinks that his 99% success rate still stands. Nobody can resist his charms. When he sees the number, he thinks that it's messed up and she has fooled him. Suddenly, the thieves snatch her purse by rushing from behind. The man teases her with the bag as they make a run. Shelly flips her middle finger and tells them to stop right now. At the same time, Jay is rushing on his cycle. He rushes past her and she wonders who he is. A construction worker is chilling around a ledge in his break. Jay picks up his helmet and says he'll borrow this for a second. He puts on the helmet and cycles forward. At the coffee shop, the employees are cleaning the mess and lament about the kids being cocky these days. The girl feels bad that those people are cleaning others' mess. The boy says that he would have taken them on like he used to do in his elementary school. The other girls ignore them and tell Dom how he was quite brave back then. Dom replies that he wasn't planning on fighting anyway and just wanted to scare them away. Yuna says that he wasn't brave, but wasn't thinking anything. Mia says that she always wanted to ask him something. Dom asks what she wants to know. Does she has feelings for him? Mia asks why he always has that band-aid on his face. Does he have a scar or something? Dom becomes scared and wonders if they want to know this. Yuna says that they would have asked about it eventually. She says he looks stupid in it. Mia says that she's curious to know as well. They can keep it their little secret. They keep insisting Dom to reveal it, and he finally agrees. He begins to rip off his bandage and says that he'll show it once. He removes the bandage and thinks this is the end of his secret. They see that Dom has a mustache. The girl asks how he has a mustache when he's still in high school. Dom reveals his secret lotion for growing this mustache. A boy asks if he could let him use it once, just a little bit. Dom says that he won't give him. He got it hardly on the black market. A girl asks why he's going through the trouble of growing a mustache. Dom says that he has been helping out his dad in a part-time job. He does DJ stuff at the club. Also, since high schoolers aren't allowed, so he has been growing a mustache to disguise himself. He covers it with a band-aid so the teachers don't find it out. Mia asks if that's the reason he keeps sleeping in class. A girl asks what kind of work his dad does, if he's making his son do that. Dom nervously replies that he manages an organization. The scene shifts to Dom's dad coming out of the airport, and a bunch of people bow in respect. Dom thinks that he almost forgot that his dad is coming back to Korea today. The girl asks if he's a civil servant or something if he's managing an organization. Dom replies that she could say it like that. Mia gets up and says that she'll get them some coffee. At the same time, a photographer sitting in the same cafe takes a picture of Mia. He smiles after taking the picture. Back to Jay, he's chasing after the thieves. The thief says that they hit the jackpot this time. He notices that someone is following them on a bike. He tells his buddy to speed up, and he asks which lunatic would try to chase a motorcycle with a cycle. He mocks Jay for being a fool. He can never catch them with his bike. Jay notices that they are taking a right turn. He then takes a shortcut by cutting through an alleyway. Jay speeds through the alley and spots a parked vehicle across the wall. He uses the car to propel himself onto the edge. He then starts riding the edge of the wall with precision. Some kids are playing soccer nearby. A boy kicks the ball into the air and they see a person riding a cycle over the wall. They wonder if this is Attack on Bicycle show. They cheer him and call him awesome. The thief says that they finally lost him. The Iron Man says that he was dumb enough to think that he could have chased them on a bike. Jay almost catches up to them and sees the thieves in front. The thief says that he was quite persistent and almost scared him for a second. Some kid are having ice cream and enjoying their time. They remain astonished when they see a person jump off the wall with his bicycle. Jay crashes his bicycle onto their motorbike, and all three of them fall on boxes. The boy thinks that it looked a bike fell from the sky, and the other boy wonders if they are dead. However, Jay comes out of the boxes alive. The thieves say that they hurt their bike. Jay steps up and his shadows loom over them. They start running away, calling Jay a nutcase. Once they have left, Jay picks up the purse. Soon enough, Shelly arrives in a taxi. She worriedly asks if he's okay. Jay covers his injuries with the helmet and gives her back the purse. Shelly says that they should get him to the hospital. However, Jay picks up his cycle and replies that he's fine. She asks, how could he be fine with all that blood running down his face? Suddenly, Jay's phone rings and he picks it up. Shelly stops herself from troubling him further. Jay explains that he got into an accident, and Yuna asks if he got hurt. She hangs up the phone and sighs. Yuna explains that Jay got into an accident while he was riding his bike. He said that he couldn't make it today and the meeting would be postponed. Mia worriedly asks if Jay got hurt. Yuna says that he may not be too much hurt judging by his voice, other than that he didn't tell her much. A boy says that he must be making excuses, but Yuna says that Jay's not that type of person. A girl says that they should hang out a bit more, and then go. Mia's moods turn off after hearing Jay isn't coming. She says that she'll go to the bathroom for a second. Once in the washroom, she felt coming here was pointless. She comes out and hopes that Jay's all right. The photographer from before introduces himself as CJ. He says that he's working as a fashion artist for a magazine. Mia nervously says hi. CJ hands her the card and says that she seems fit to become a model. She could come to the photo shoot if she's interested. If she feels comfortable, then she could contact him by the next week. Soon enough, they decide to leave and head back home. Yuna says that it was bad that Jay didn't show up today. She tried her best to look nice for him. She tells Yuna to cheer up a bit, and Dom also feels lucky today. He drank coffee with Yuna in the morning. She asks what that guy was talking to her before. Yuna takes out the card and says that he was from a fashion magazine. He asked her to be a model. Yuna takes the card and becomes shocked. She says that it's a famous magazine. At Jay's home, Minu is watching TV. He thinks that staying at home is boring. The scene shifts to Jay going to a bike shop. He enters the shop and asks for the mechanic. The mechanic is a girl, and she welcomes him. Jay says that he came to get his bike repaired. The girl recognizes him from the last race. She asks if doesn't he remember her and explains that she filmed their last race. She provides him with some first aid and says that it's done. Jay says that he didn't come here for the first aid but to get his bike fixed. Harry says that he messed up his bike real bad this time. The fork and front wheel are totally busted. She asks if he really crashed his bike while trying to catch some thieves to give a girl's purse back. He's quite something. Jay looks at the picture of his uncle on the wall. He remembers watching him on the television when he was a kid. He was a racing champion in cycling. He also asked him what dream he wanted to accomplish in his life. Little Jay replies that he wants to be a doctor. His uncle says that it's a dream that his parents gave him. He wants to know what he truly desires. Jay says that there's nothing. He's a student, and all he can do is study like his parents tell him. His uncle says that studying is important too, but if he finds something he's good at, then he should do it. Jay wonders what he meant. He asks his uncles what his dream is. He replies that he wants to stand on top of everyone in the world. He won the race and proved that nothing is impossible. The commentator announces that this is the first time that a Korean cyclist won the race in the finals. Jay quickly switches off the TV once his mom tells him to do homework. After the race, his heart beats a lot, and he thinks that his uncle did it. In the present, Harry asks if he knows this man. She says that he's a national cyclist and won first place in many races. He also won once on the international stage. Every cyclist dreams of becoming like him. She again asks if he knows him, and Jay replies that he is his uncle. Harry says that she knew it. This bike was used by him before he became a competitive cyclist. The cyclist usually gives their bike a name, and his uncle's name is written on it. Jay asks how she knows his uncle. Harry replies that she's a huge fan of him. She inspects the bike and wonders how she should fix this. After inspecting the damage, she says that it will take 2 days. Jay proceeds to leave and says he'll come back when it's done. Before he leaves, she shows him a poster and asks if he's interested in participating in this event. The League of Street is hosting a biking competition this month, and it's gonna be big. The first place winner gets $100,000 in prize money and a ticket to participate in the international competition. She asks if he's interested. However, Jay denies it. She says that he could still join it if he changes his mind. He can participate with his friends. However, Jay says that he has an exam next month and doesn't have time for this. Harry says that's all right and she'll see him later. Jay, while heading back home, reaches for his wallet in the pocket. He checks his other pockets and bag but can't find it. He then realizes that he must have dropped it. The scene shifts to Shelley looking at Jay's wallet and his school ID. Her grandfather comes in fuming and calls her his princess. He says that he missed her a lot. Shelley says that she wants to ask him a favor. She says that she wants to transfer to his school for a bit.